Heading to the brew store today. We're gonna do some brewing.
Oh.
We'll do some ice scraping, then some brewing.
Welcome to Norway. Oh. All right, now let's go.
Made it. Oh. Get it. Hi, Future Dan here. The purpose of this video is to show a complete brew from brewing to fermenting to kegging under pressure. And if that's something you're interested in, then stick around. This was also special to me because this is the last brew that I did before actually turning my downstairs crappy, messy room, pardon the mess in this video, into an actual brewery, which I'll be starting in Norway. The techniques and things in this video also would extend to the B150 series and the B150 series for smaller fermenters at home. In the video, I'm demonstrating brewing a classic East Coast IPA recipe. However, I won't focus on the video at all about the recipe. And so in the future, if you'd like me to focus on more specific recipes, let me know. So if you're interested in sort of seeing the journey of me refurbishing the room, making it food safe, and starting a business in Norway, I'm not Norwegian, by the way, then please subscribe, and leaving a like and all that bullshit helps a lot too. All right, now back to the video. I have a double Brewtools set up for my sparging. I forgot to clean it, so it's a bit grody, and no one likes grody water in their beer. I mean, maybe some people do. I don't. Well, sometimes. I don't know. You don't know me. All right, let's fill this bitch with water and brew. Don't forget the brewing salts. Probably shouldn't pour them down the center tube like that. That's what happens when you film and brew. It'll be fine. Add in the grain. Typically I just add little bits and pieces and make sure that everything is thoroughly mixed and no big balls. I also cover the center pipe. I also make lots of grunting noises like this. I think that's the most important thing. All right, now we mash. Now I'm starting to circulate. I'm doing a mix of both the pump going out the center pipe, so then you get this nice dripping action, and then also going through this and circulating and spinning around the side as well. And I like to have my dip tube kind of pointed up so that way the pump's kind of pushing back up around. At least that's what's happening in my head. We've just about finished extracting all of the sugars, and next is mashing out and sparging. I'm doing a mash out, which means raising it to the sparge temperature, which is the temperature where we rinse it basically with hotter water. So far so good, and then now the fun part is lifting the grain out. So I have a little hook in the ceiling, and I'm gonna use the pulley system, the same pulley system I used before in my last video in Brewing in the City. Now you're just gonna watch me struggle pulling out grain. Hopefully I can do it by myself. Alrighty, wish me luck. Yeah, need to do a 5 to 1.
5 hours later.
Was able to get it. As you can see, it almost just fits on the other one. I need to have a better solution for this. The idea is maybe to put like a track or something and slide it over to a sink here. Over here in this mess corner. Now put on the steam hat. Woo. We got ourselves a latch. We're latched. All right, boil and then throw in some hops, get some bitterness. Also added some dextrose to bump up that alcohol while finishing real dry. We've hit boil and adding those hops. Woo! Be mindful of the steam. But let's start the steam condenser water. You can see it. It doesn't actually flow out that much water. Now the waiting part. Beer, please! Got the oxygenation set up, ready? And realized I'm out of oxygen. So I spent a bunch of time getting that ready. You know, it's gonna be my first time using the inline oxygenation. Usually I use the wand, but well, I guess I'm out of oxygen. I won't be oxygenating this one. However, it's going to be going from here all the way up to here and dropping in quite harshly. So, you know, it's not the most ideal that it could be, but it'll probably be fine. Let's transfer. Oh yeah, one more thing. Add yeast, measure the gravity, and I also purged out using the CO2 all the liquid through the heat exchanger. So I think I'll increase my, at least, volume efficiency. Cleaning is as simple as rinsing off, draining, and then hooking up the clean in place ball. A ball that spins around fast, shoots out cleaning fluid, and just let it run. Gets it spick and span. We're back on day 2 and it's fermenting. As you can see, going crazy. And really I wanted to try out this biotransformation deal where during high krausen or high yeast activity is when you pitch your yeast and it biotransforms your hops into fancy compounds. And this is actually kind of a well-known scientific fact now. And originally I was planning on doing it day 2, but as you can see, I went from, the calibration is a bit off, but I went from 0.057 to 0.020. It's about 7 points off right now. I've just been too lazy to recalibrate it. But I think if I wait till day 2, I'm gonna actually miss my high yeast activity. So I'm gonna dry hop today using the hop kit from Brewtools. And I've never used that before. And why not use it for the first time on filming and create chaos?
So much tri-clamps, such little time.
Does make it kind of feel rather unnecessary.
Like, is this necessary?
Yes. Is it necessary? No. Is it cool? Yes.
I think you'll probably still have good beer without it.
All right, purge and drop. Hopefully it actually drops everything. Now just slowly open this up because I think now there's pressure. Should be a bit more. See if I can slowly open it. So I think we have reached terminal gravity. So no more sugars are being fermented, which means two things. One, I am going to double check with a handy dandy hydrometer. And also I will drop some more yeast out. I've already dropped one more. And get the beer off some of the yeast in order to reduce the possibility of flavors. So right now I'm slowly filling up my test tube. Finished about 1.0 or so. All right, so now I'm, before I start the cold crash, I'm actually going to push out the last remaining yeast. This butterfly valve here, just slow and steady. Yeah, you can hear it coming. Delicious. That sound. Now it's getting a bit runny. So I'm going to stop, even though there's some yeast. I don't want to, if it gets runny, you're also kind of wasting a bit of beer. And yeah, just don't need to be doing that. So it looks terrible, but man, it smells good. Yeah, so next I'm gonna cold crash and it'll drop out more solids and also allow the beer to carbonate a little bit more. But seriously, check this out. Gross. All right, cold crash. All right, so I've finished cold crashing, and by cold crashing, I actually just mean I opened up that window there and got it as cold as we can get it. Right now that's around 8 degrees. Took a few days to get there, so, but before I go and get the beer ready, I am also going to clean and purge kegs. So I've already cleaned these kegs. Now, obviously I'm not going to use all of them because I did an 80-liter batch, but next I'm going to purge them, and the way I'm doing that, or at least thinking of doing that, is I'm actually filling one all the way up. Wow. And, well, and you can see I actually put this on a Play-Doh keg weight. It's not a weight, it's a scale. That's all it is. It's just a scale that fits kegs nicely and grippy. And I am, one, confirming how much actually liquid goes in these. So, like for example, they're 19-liter kegs, and that means to the top full. This is 19 liters. To the top full. So, I'm glad I actually didn't really realize that. I thought 19 liters was to the bottom of the gas valve, so that's good to know. So I think what I'm gonna do before I get any further is also kind of confirm the amount of liquid that should be going in these kegs in liters. I'm gonna use this Play-Doh keg scale in order to know how much liquid I'm putting in my kegs. And I need to know where to stop. Should I stop at 19, 18, etc.? So it looks like around 18, but I'll try that out and kind of confirm, because I don't want to sort of overfill a keg. There, you can see that the liquid level is 18 liters, right to the end bottom of the gas post. So that is how many liters I am going to fill with beer. However, in doing the purge, I fill them up to 19 because I don't want any oxygen in the initial keg. So I'm basically gonna pump that Sandy from one to the next keg using CO2, so that'll displace the liquid or the Star San with CO2 and we will have ourselves clean kegs. And CO2 kegs, oxygen free or limited oxygen. But now let's do that. So a way I solved not having enough of the connectors is that once I filled this one up and it was only pushing out CO2, I just took it out of the line. And then now I'm pressurizing the next one down, and then I added a keg here at the end. And that keg will be just, it'll fill with Sandy and then we'll just leave it there. And then we should theoretically then have 4 kegs that have been sanitized and also are purged with CO2. And before to go to fill it with beer, I'll also use a spunding valve in order to make sure that the pressure on my tank and the pressure on my keg are the same for when I'm actually putting beer into it. Because if you don't do that, then you'll have foam city, and no one likes foam city. But yeah, so it's working along well, and you can actually tell when one of them finishes because it'll start just putting out like kind of foam as you would expect. I did use the foaming sanitizer, so maybe next time I shouldn't use that, but yeah, it's working good so far. All right. So what I've done now is I have a spunding valve. So this basically is a pressure relief valve that can be adjusted, hooked onto the keg that is full of CO2 and sanitized. And then I also have the same pressure on the regulator attached to the keg. So they should be about the same pressure. I might even try using an umbilical line where, yeah, let's not talk about that now. So then what I've done is I've purged the filter, and I've also even purged out this sanitized beer line, and I will attach the beer line to the keg and see how it goes. Let's watch it together. And I also have the keg on the Play-Doh, so that way I can monitor will it work and how much am I filling up. So instead of making sure that the beer was pouring clear-ish before I put on the filter, I didn't do that. So I immediately clogged the filter. Yep, we're still learning. I'm learning from my previous mistake of not clearing the racking arm before using the filter, duh. Now what I've done is I've sanitized all of these pieces. Beer is looking good. It's quite foamy. All right. I think that's looking pretty darn good, actually. All right. Trying it again. So beer is flowing. All right, that's it for the video, and I hope you learned something. And if you have any questions, just leave a comment below, or want to learn anything more, or if you see anything that I'm doing that's really stupid, please let me know so that way I can learn and we can all learn together. If you're more interested in sort of the brewing setup fermenter that I'm using, I have done an unboxing and look at that here. And also subscribe if you're interested in sort of seeing a brewery start with these units, and also refurbishing a brewery completely. It's really cold out right now, so there's not much to do, but I'll see you in the next one. Peace. Right there, I've confirmed. Why am I pointing this at my face?
Are you filming?
Thanks for joining.
Hi!
Oh, hey there, Victor.